Today I'm going to show the animations for the next part of the player controller, which is ground strafing. And the first animations I'm going to show are just some character bumpings when you try to strafe outside of the boundaries of the game. So I'll just play the first animation. So I've slowed it down so you can see what's going on. So he just falls and then he gets back up and goes into the first frame of the run animation. So I'll turn him around so you can have a look from several angles. So again, this was authored by the animator, and I play it when you try to go outside the bounds of the game world. You just fall on your butt, get up, and then get back to running. And I'll show another one from the other side. Again, slowed down so you can see what's going on. And again, he just goes up to the run animation. It happens very quickly. It's just as a visual cue that you've tried to go beyond the boundaries of the world. And I'll show it in game so that you can see what I'm talking about. But again, he just falls to the side. So one of these, he falls to the left, and the other one, he falls to the right, like he's doing here. So this is the right one. So I'll stop that one. And these are jump animations when you're strafing from track to track in the world. So I'll just show them so you can see how they're set up for the game and they're in place. And the height is controlled by the animator, and I'm also responsible for doing some things in program logic. For instance, controlling the yaw of the character is something I control. So I'll just run. Again, it's slowed down. So I'm also responsible for translating the character in X and Z. As you can see, this jump animation is in place. But it's always good to see these. So if you're ever wondering of one way that you might go about doing this, well, this is one way that works. Or at least it works in my engine. So this one, he's going to jump to the right. And again, he goes back to the first frame of the run animation. If I stop this, right there, as you can see, he's going to the run animation. So it'll be a seamless transition from this jump to running. You won't see any pops, which is what you want. So I'll run it again. So let's stop that. And now I'll show one. Now he's going from the left. So these animations are similar, but the animator has done slight differences, so you get some variety. They're not exactly mirrored animations. So again, just jumping. And again, it's in place. I'm responsible for doing the translations, and I also do yaw. So if I slow him down, there he's going into the first frame of the crouched animation. So let's turn him around so we can have a... So there you have a couple of examples of some of the animations I'm going to show in game. And the next thing I'm going to show is I guess how I come up with a rough design before I start coding. I thought it might be important just to show something that I guess not many people publish on YouTube. And it might look like chicken scratch, but it helps me sort of solidify my ideas and what I'm going to do before I start coding. I don't generally just code something without any plans, because it usually turns out to be very hacky, or it's not the best way to come up with a good solution. So I always come with a plan or a game plan before I actually start coding. And come to think of it, I don't really spend that much time coding. I spend most of my time doing designs or coming up with solutions to what I want to do. And then once I have the solution on paper, I then start coding. And then since I have it on paper, it's, I can bang it out really quickly. And the other advantage is because it's already been pre-thought out and I've gone through all the gotchas, I can concentrate on other things like designing a really good interface or writing clean, simple code. Whereas I wouldn't have that luxury if I was just starting from scratch and going in without a plan. So that's what I'll show in the next section of the video. Thanks. All right, in this portion of the video, I'm just showing some of the pre-planning I do before I actually write code. And this is sort of some scribblings I've been doing to figure out how I'm going to do the strafing that I showed in this video. So I guess this is just to show the process. Before I write any code, I sort of write down my ideas of how it's going to work. I'd never start coding just off the bat unless it's something I'm experimenting with. And in this case, I'm not experimenting. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write the code and how everything's going to behave. And so I lay everything out on paper. And that way when I'm programming, I just refer to these notes and just program it. And this way it makes my work a lot easier because I'm not sitting there guessing about what I'm going to do and writing hacked code. I've sort of planned everything, so it makes everything really easy for implementation. And that way I'm not worrying about what algorithm I'm going to do. I'm actually worrying about how I'm going to structure my code based on what I've written on my notes. So I thought it might be interesting to show, I guess, a little bit of the process behind the scenes. And whatever's scratched out in red is these are sections of things I need to program. So once I finish programming it, I scratch it out so that I don't have to look at it. And essentially I have all my notes, and when everything's scratched out, that means the feature's been implemented. So I guess this would give someone an idea of how to go about things. If you're prototyping, you don't need to do this. Like if you're just coming up with something, just bang something out and see if it works. But once something shows progress or promise, you should probably sit down with a piece of paper and plan out everything that you're going to do. That way you're not hacking stuff into your engine. So that's pretty much what I'm going to show for what I planned out. Of course, I have more notes, but I think this is more than enough just to get an idea of the process. In this portion of the video, I'm going to show the end result of the scribblings I showed in the prior section. So here I have the character running, and the first thing I'll show is the bump animation that I showed in Maya. So it also shakes the camera, and as you can see, it happens very quickly. I'll show the other one. So those were the bumps. Now I'm going to show the strafes, or in the ground, so he just hops from place to place. And the good thing, like I said, about having a design up front is I can code ahead of time all the little edge cases. So for example, what's going to happen if I decide to strafe from side to side like this, or if I do a combination like that, I can program this ahead of time. So I don't have to sit there doing weird little hacky things for things that I haven't planned out before. And again, because all the states are independent of each other, I can, for example, strafe and jump and it'll work automatically because these states are all independent. So there's no weird complicated code that I had to write. And again, that's thanks to planning everything ahead of time. For instance, I can roll and strafe. So you'll just come out. I can also jump across. And again, if I want to, I can jump simultaneously like that. And it'll just happen because all the states are programmed properly to handle that. So now I'll just show everything that I've done completed. So all the sections have all come together to do this. So I can strafe in the air. I can also roll downwards while I'm in the air. What else can I do? So there he just runs across and then does a little hop. I can jump up while I'm rolling. So again, that was all thanks to just pre-planning. So in the next video, I'm going to show some attack animations that I've got. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do some research, but that'll be the next part that I do for the character controller. But for now, you can see the ground strafes that I've done here. So till next time, thanks for watching.